Hi, my name is Jayesh Joshi and this is Tunki. Today we're going to be talking about rally racing in India, how you can get started and how you finish. That's essentially what we're going to be covering in this entire series. Right now I'm going to be racing the Rally of Himalayas, so I thought I'll just use the prep as the material and as a point to start this video. So the first thing that a lot of people ask is, where can I find out what is happening? So the best place to know where these events are happening is on the FMSCI website. I always suggest that a person who is starting out should race FMSCI events because legally they are tight. There's policies and rules that make sure that you're safe even if something uncertain happens. And the other thing is that FMSCI events have a proper system to them. So it's not like a local race, it's very proper, even if it's like a half-day event or a multiple-day event like a rally. So before I get into the details of registration, where you can get your rally license from and all of that, I just want to tell you what a rally is. A rally is essentially a long format race where you go from point A to B, then B to C, then C to D, and basically it's like a marathon of sorts, And in a rally, it's very important to have endurance. In a rally, it's very, very important to have your navigation right. A rally is not only about speed because you also have to take care of the navigation part of it. So even if you're a fast rider, it's very, very important to make sure that you have your eye on the GPS device that you're using, which could be your satellite navigation system like Garmin to a simple smartphone. So yeah, that's pretty much what rally racing is. It's a marathon and it goes on for multiple days. There are different formats. If you'd like, I can make a video about different formats of rally, but that is a pretty basic surface level definition of what rally racing in India is like. Now, you go to FMSCI's website and look at their calendar. This is what that looks like. In the calendar, you can find out what events are happening and under what discipline those events are happening. So there's autocross, there is motocross, there is supercross, there is rally, there is gymkhana. There's a lot of different formats, and the formats are for 2 wheels and 4 wheels. And you can find everything on this Excel sheet or PDF that these guys upload every year in the beginning of every year. So now that you found out a particular event that you like, let's say that you want to race this Rally of Himalayas, or by the time this video comes out, you want to race the Sajoba Rally, you'll find out about it using the calendar on FMSCI's website and get in touch with the Sajoba organizers to help you get registered for that event. Registering for these events is pretty normal. You get in touch with the organizers, they send you a bunch of forms over, you fill them, you send them, and it gets complicated after that. So now that you have found out an event that you like, what you need to do is on the same FMSCI website, you need to go and register for a rally license or for a license of the sport that you'd like to participate in. So a lot of people have multiple disciplines listed out in their licenses like motocross, supercross and rally. If you just want to do rally racing, you can also sign up for just the rally racing format. Let me take you guys into my screen and show you how you can get yourself a rally license. The first thing you need to do is open up the FMSCI website and go on the Forms tab, under which you'll need to click on Competition License. Here you will find some general instructions, documents you need to upload, and forms you'll need to fill for your FMSCI license. The first form is the indemnity form. Since this is a legal document, please go through it carefully. The second form is the medical history form, which needs to be filled out by your general physician or doctor. This form acts as a proof of your vitals and fitness being normal. The third is the grading form, which you will fill as NA or non-applicable as a first timer, or with details of events you've taken part in on a local level. This form is not required for club sport license. Details of what club sport means can be found in the Know Your Sport PDF attached in the description. Download, fill and scan these forms, and let's move on to the next page. Here, you will need to fill out your first and last name, your email address and mobile number. On the filled number, you will receive an OTP. Put that in and click on Verify to proceed to the next page. The page after is pretty straightforward. Please know that these are super important, so make sure you fill these out with accuracy. Also make sure that you fill out your address correctly so that you can receive the physical license where you live. Moving on, you'll arrive at the license section screen. Here, choose two-wheel racing/rally, then two-wheel national. Once you make that selection, you'll see more options. Choose the sport you'd like to take part in. For example, I'm choosing rally and supercross. All of these disciplines are explained in simple yet effective words in the Know Your Sport PDF by FMSCI. Link to that is in the description. Once you make the selection, the website will ask you to choose between a restricted and a full license. Restricted licenses allow you to race in all events except for national ones such as INRC or the Indian National Rally Championship. The national license allows you to race all events including the national ones. Once you've chosen your sport, you'll arrive on the self-attestation window, which is basically an undertaking of your condition. Fill it with honesty, as any false information may land you in trouble with claiming FMSCI's help in case of an unfortunate incident during a motorsport event. This section of the application process requires you to upload images of the documents required. This is also where you'll be uploading the forms you had downloaded and filled earlier. After filling these out, you will proceed by clicking on Next and be asked to pay. For privacy reasons, I'm choosing not to add the payment footage here, but the process is pretty straightforward if you're used to online shopping and making transactions over the internet. Alright, that process is a little bit complicated, but if you just follow all the steps that I listed and spoke to you about, it would be pretty straightforward. Now that application number is also valid if you're signing up for an event. Like if you haven't received your physical rally card yet, you can always show that this is an application number and that is valid because the application number is your rally license number. But now that you have your rally license, you're ready to start filling out those complicated forms that organizers send to you. Well, they're not really all that complicated if you start understanding what these forms are about. So in any rally, you'll have your entry form, which is a pretty standard form where you fill in your name, your bike details, your chassis number, engine number, all of these, it's a pretty straightforward sort of a form. Then you have your indemnity form. The indemnity bond is basically like a waiver saying that all of the things that you've said in this form are true, and if in case something unfortunate happens to you, the rally staff will help you, but they're not at the end of the day liable for any of the damages that happen to you because of you to another person or to your motorcycle. So that's your entry form. I show you a sample here, you can go through it. Then you have your indemnity bond, which is like a legally binding document which you need. Like you can't race a rally without filling out an indemnity bond, and usually rally organizers will ask you to get it printed on a legal stamp paper, so make sure that you don't miss that. The organizers will not let you miss it. They're very, very helpful when it comes to all of these registration processes, so don't worry. Even if it sounds complicated, you can always get in touch with the organizers and they will help you through this process. I've had nothing but great experiences with the organizers during the registration process. Now, speaking about your policies, basically the insurance that is extended by different companies to you. Most companies don't offer insurance for such events because it's extremely high risk, and they don't want that liability on themselves because we live in a capitalistic world and nobody wants to make losses and nobody wants to overstretch, especially in events which are extremely high risk. So there are a few companies that you can get in touch with to get a rally insurance. New India Assurance is the company that I use to help me with my rally insurance. You can talk to Manohar Sharma. Manohar sir helps me in getting these rally endorsements and policies for every event. The companies, right? We are talking about the company. I think just New India Assurance and Oriental are the ones who give you rally endorsement. There might be a few more companies, but these are the two companies that I'm aware of that I've had smooth experiences with. Basically what you need to do is that you will need to get your bike insured by the same company, and you need to get a personal insurance by the same company. So what this does is that it allows them to extend a rally cover on top of it. So say you have a policy worth X amount and you have a vehicle insurance worth X amount. That policy would last usually for 1 year, 2 years, whatever amount of time you choose, and in that duration you can sign up for events and get in touch with the person that you are in touch with. Like for me, it's Mr. Sharma. They will give you a rally endorsement or a event endorsement over your policy, which is basically saying that in your duration of 1 year, 2 years, these are a few days or these are the event dates on which you are asking for high risk cover. So right, now that you have a particular policy from these companies, you can ask them to give you high risk insurance or high risk endorsements for the dates of the events that you're racing in. So let's say the Himalayan Rally is happening from the 5th to the 8th of October 2023. I'll call Sharma sir, I'll tell him that, hey, this is the event that's happening. Sharma sir will ask me for the documents, specifically the SR, my PAN, my policy numbers, policy details and all of that. And on top of that policy, they'll add a high risk cover for those particular days. So from 5th to 8th, I would have a high risk cover because I'm racing or I'm taking part in a high risk event. So let's just revise the documents that you need so far. The entry form, the indemnity form, your personal insurance, which is your personal accident insurance, your vehicle insurance, and the rally endorsement. These are the 5 quintessential forms or documents that you do need for for rally racing. Of course, rally racing is only enabled by the FMSCI with the rally license, so I'm not even counting it in these 5 because it's not an added document. It is just the document that you need to even get into the scene. So let's go back to the first form, which is your entry form. In your entry form, there's going to be a section which talks about the category that you're racing in. Let's talk about these categories because they are the same across all of the rally events that happen in India. So Group A takes foreign bikes which are manufactured outside of India. Group B is Indian bikes, Indian manufactured motorcycles with foreign components added to it. So let's say you got a hydraulic clutch imported and installed in your Xpulse or your Himalayan or your KTM Adventure. That bike will now be valid in only Group B, okay, because it's an Indian bike with a foreign component to it. There's a slight bit of a gray area there because like you can have an imported handlebar, like a Pro Taper handlebar. Does that really change the performance of the bike? Like, I think for me, a Group B bike is one where your modifications, your imported modifications make a lot of difference to the performance of your motorcycle and give you an edge over stock motorcycles or Group C motorcycles, which are Indian bikes with Indian mods. So let's say you have a Himalayan and you got like performance suspensions added by Z-Link to it. Now, since the bike is not OEM or stock, it will now be a part of the Group C, which is Indian bikes with Indian mods. Then Group D, which is stock bikes, like just like how the bike is out of the factory, that's how you're going to rate it. You can of course change the handlebar, change the seat, you can make slight adjustments to it, removing some things here and there, but no performance oriented mods. So let's revise that once again. Group A is imported motorcycles, Group B is Indian bikes with imported modifications, Group C is Indian bikes with Indian modifications, and Group D are Indian manufactured stock motorcycles. So you can choose which of these groups do you want to race in, and all of these groups, there are going to be subclasses which are CC based. So let's say you have a big board 245cc experts. You will not be racing in the 165 to 210 category. You'll be racing in the category above that. Again, the categories are different in every event, so you can just read the SR, which stands for Supplementary Regulations, which is a document which talks about everything that you need to know about the rally. Like, what are the rules? What is the kind of terrain going to be like? Who is the COC? Who's the everything. Like, I don't know what a COC is. I think it's clerk of course, which is basically like the highest rank of that particular event. I don't know, but whatever, like everything that you need to know is there. Alright. So this is all of the paperwork and stuff that you need. You'll also be required to submit like your PAN card for the insurance. You will also be required to submit a medical report for a lot of these rallies, which states that you're in good health. You'll also be submitting a medical report on the FMSCI license page. So it's very, very important that you're in good health, and that is a great segue to the next part that I'm going to talk about, which is health and fitness. A lot of us, specifically in India, think of health and fitness as going to the gym, lifting weights, running on the treadmill, and being done with it. Now, that is a very one-dimensional way of looking at health. And for a sport like rally racing, or for a sport like off-roading, it's very, very important that you think about your health as a whole. If you're somebody who does not have a lot of time to devote to your health, there are a few things that you can do to get yourself started on that journey towards, physical wellness. So the first thing is that you should start incorporating a little bit of cardiovascular exercises to your day-to-day routine, which could be running, cycling, swimming, whatever. Work on your strength. Don't go too much on the tangent of hypertrophy, which is basically bodybuilding. Try to stay focused on building strength, like being able to lift heavy weights and working on that through an endurance format. If you're not someone who is entirely familiar with all of these words that I'm saying, that's completely fine. Go to a gym, talk to a trainer, get to know what works for you, and try to incorporate that. But it's very, very important to have a mixture of cardiovascular, which is, basically like exercises where your heart is the muscle that's being worked the most, so like running, swimming, and cycling. Then there are strength exercises, and of course spend as much time as you can on your motorcycle, because that is essentially what you need to be implementing your fitness on. Last year, in the last Sajoba rally, what happened was that I got so much into like this idea of like, oh, I need to get stronger, I need to be able to run or cycle, that I barely spent time on the bike. I was just like all about, I need to go to the gym, I need to work out, I need to do this, that, start taking care of your health. Now let's talk about nutrition a little bit. Try to understand what your protein intake is going to be like. Protein helps you regenerate and keep and grow muscles, essentially. So if you're somebody who is 60 kgs, 65 kgs, you need to have at least 80 grams of protein a day. Like that's like a ballpark. There's of course there's a lot of studies which say that you need to have 1.5 grams of protein per kg of body weight. There are some that say you need to have 2 grams of protein per body weight, but that sudden change in your gut biome might make your body a little bit overwhelmed. So just do it slowly, but get there. I try to eat, I'm 62 kgs, I try to eat about 120 grams of protein a day. I didn't jump into it head first, I kind of built it up slowly, but it's important, and it's helped me grow muscles, get stronger, and just be overall fit. Alright, let's talk about the fits on your motorcycle, which is basically your gear. What you need to carry, what you need to buy, and what you need to wear when you're racing a rally. There are a few things that you can't make any compromises on, and the first is your helmet. Your head is very, very precious, and trying to look for a bargain on a helmet is probably not the best idea. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy helmets that are on the more economical side, that you have to buy like a 50,000 rupee helmet. I'm saying that do your research and figure out if this helmet is good enough for you. I understand that a lot of us come from different economical backgrounds, and rally racing or racing motorcycles is a luxury, but it's also a high risk. So please be aware of the fact that your gear is very, very, very important. So let's go from top to bottom. You need a great helmet to start. A great helmet that fits your budget but keeps you safe. That's the most important thing. And if you don't feel comfortable in a helmet, like it doesn't allow enough air in, or it's too tight or too loose, don't just adjust to it, because in situations where you're panicking or hyperventilating, or there's a lot of adrenaline flowing in your body, that helmet might become an obstacle. So just make sure that you feel comfortable and right in the helmet. Don't make your decision only based on the price tag. Let's go down. Then you need a good armor. A lot of armors are hard plastic PVC armors. You can get those, or you can get a soft shell armor like this one. This is the one that I own. I like it. Soft shell armors, at least the armors that came during this time, don't necessarily provide rib protection. So if that's something that you're worried about, you want your entire body to be protected, which you should, then you should definitely get something that's hard plastic, because those are usually armors that cover it. This brings me to the sponsor of this video, which is Fynx Moto. Fynx Moto is the best place for you to get off-road gear in India. Fynx Moto brings to you amazing goggles, armors, lower body protection, motocross gear like jerseys, pants, enduro gear like jersey, pants, and beautiful boots and gloves. Fynx Moto is bringing to India something that I feel like a lot of brands haven't been able to do in the past, which is updated ranges of off-road gear year after year. So do consider checking out Fynx Moto, and if you'd like a discount, here are the details. Thanks again to Fynx Moto for sponsoring this video. Let's go even below, which is your groin area. So a lot of people just wear underwear or cycling shorts, and I can understand how it might feel like an area where you're like, I won't get hurt here, or nothing would happen here, I'm fine. I would suggest getting a good pair of impact shorts, but if impact shorts seem like they're out of your budget, then I would consider buying a very good pair of cycling shorts. Cycling shorts essentially provide you cushioning. Impact shorts provide you impact protection as well as cushioning. So say if you land on your ass after a fall, cycling shorts will not protect you from that fall, but when you're on the bike, they won't let you feel too uncomfortable. So that's kind of where you cut corners when you're saving money, or when you're not ready to invest that kind of capital in gear. This is an expensive sport, like I'm not going to lie about it. This is an expensive sport, and it's always going to be an expensive sport, because like it requires a lot of precision and versatility and detail in the pieces of gear that we end up buying. Then you need a good pair of knee guards or knee braces. I would always suggest knee braces, because what a brace does is that it stops your knee from hyperextending. And I've had a horrible ACL tear in college when I was playing football, and I know how bad they are. I was basically like on, walking support, or I had my leg completely restricted with one of these like medical knee braces after I tore my ligament, and it took like 7-8 months out of like my regular day-to-day normal life. I was basically like handicapped to a big extent. I couldn't sit, I couldn't stand by myself, sleeping was a problem. It was very painful. Sometimes when you're just walking, even when you're wearing all this support or walking with a particular support, your knee pops out of place and it's extremely painful. So try to avoid that by getting yourself a pair of braces. Again, if that's something that you can't afford at this point, get yourself a pair of really good knee guards. Your ligaments might not be protected, but knee guards will help you if you land on your knees, and they help you from scraping your knees and all of that. Then I think this is also a piece of gear that a lot of people ignore, is you really need a good pair of boots. And like I own these Alpine Star Tech 7s, and I think they're an amazing boot. I got a great price for it because a friend of my father's got it from Australia, so we got a decent price for it. We didn't have to pay like the Indian price, but it's really like a game changer, because your foot is so stable and secure in a good pair of boots. Definitely consider getting yourself a decent pair of boots. Now your documents are done, your entry form is done, you have your rally license, you have your insurance, you have the gear that you need, you have nailed your fitness, you have nailed your nutrition. Now there's only a week left for the rally. So now it's time to start packing. What do you pack to rally? That really depends on how you're going to that rally, which I'll be talking about in a bit. But let's say that you're transporting your bike and you're taking a flight, or you're driving down to the venue. So essentially what you need to carry is comfortable clothing, because essentially you'll be getting out of your motorcycle clothes, I think by evening in most cases. Like you start early morning and you get out of all of that sweaty, dirty gear at like 6, 7, if you're lucky. Sometimes it's 8:30, 9 also. So get yourself a comfortable pair of shorts, pajamas, a nice t-shirt that you feel comfortable in. Those are like some basics. Depending on how many days that you're going for, just carry carry the multiples. I don't think I have to teach you guys how to pack, but I'm just telling you what I know from my experience. Don't carry jeans and all, because there's not going to be a lot of times where you're going to be wearing like jeans. Oh, but of course, like, you would need a decent pair of clothes if you end up on the podium. And if you want to look nice, you can carry like a good pair of jeans, a nice dress shirt, or a nice t-shirt, or a cool jacket if you want. People collect trophies in their shorts. Sometimes people collect trophies in their moto gear as well. So there's no rules to it. Nobody's going to look down on you for not wearing like fancy clothes. But if it's something that you yourself like, then carry like 1 or 2 sets which you are, which you feel like fashionable in. Let's talk about some more serious stuff when it comes to packing. You should carry multiples of your gear. Of course, not like, don't carry 2 knee braces or 2 motocross boots or 2 helmets, but have like multiple jerseys, multiple socks, because wearing socks that aren't fresh or wearing underwear that isn't fresh, it gives you a bad start to the day. Like, you don't feel great, like you want to, like, I feel like a fresh pair of socks really changes how you feel. And it might just be me, but I try to carry, like, if it's a 3-day event, then I carry 3 socks, like 3 moto socks. I use decathlon stockings because they reach till my knee here, and it's a good added layer when it comes to wearing braces. The braces also come with like their own sleeve, so I just add that on top of it, so then my braces don't move at all. So yeah, 3 pair of stockings. I try to carry my impact shorts. I only have 1 pair of impact shorts, but they're quick dry, so I try to wash them after every day, and so that they dry by the next morning. If you're racing somewhere cold, then I think just like leaving them out and like to air out should be fine. I try to carry like multiple jerseys because they get extremely dirty and sweaty. And of course, like my armor jacket, I can't carry multiples of, so I let that air out again. Essentially, every day after your rally, you'd be ideally airing out your gear. You should be doing that. Oh, one more thing, carry like a comfortable pair of shoes and a pair of slippers, because you don't know what kind of hotel you'd be staying in. Sometimes you get to stay in really good hotels, sometimes you get to stay in like hotels where like it's just so just if you're somebody who is particular about what touches your feet, then yeah, do that. I mean, and I completely understand if somebody might be feeling that you can't be rally racing and also be talking about your like your feet getting dirty or whatever. I have a very good answer for that, and that is like rally racing is something that's extremely uncomfortable, extremely challenging, and once I'm done with it, I want to be done with the challenge. I don't want to have the challenge be a state of permanence throughout, because if I'm pushing myself for 6-7 hours, 8 hours on a bike, then I don't think I need to push myself for the rest of the day, and when there's no reason to push myself, like if I can be comfortable, then I should be comfortable. And I try to go out of my way to be comfortable. I would carry like headphones and make sure my music is downloaded. I have like a show to watch or whatever, anything that makes me comfortable. I try to have that implemented in my luggage or in my packing. So don't get into this idea that, oh, this is extremely endurance driven, so I have to be. It's not a boot camp, it's not a boot camp. It's an experience that you're paying to be a part of, and you don't have to be uncomfortable if you don't like to be uncomfortable. And there's nothing, to feel embarrassed about. It's perfectly fine. Alright, so the last week is sort of come to a halfway point. By this time, your bike should be in proper condition, ready to go, ready to ship, ready to be loaded, or ready to be driven or ridden to the place where the rally is happening. A few things that you should definitely check in your bike before you head out to any rally. Let's start from the top again. Your headlight is working. It should be working. Rally requires your headlights, indicators, brake lights to be working properly. So if your brake lights aren't working with the foot brake, then you need to get that checked and make sure that the bike is responding or doing things that you expect it to do, because there is this process of scrutiny where FMSCI staff does a 360 of your bike. They check everything's working or not, and if you don't pass your scrutiny, you won't be allowed to race, or you have to like run around, find a mechanic, find a technician in that area, have them fix it, and that's added stress. So just make sure that your bike is in proper scrutiny passable condition before. Another thing that you should definitely check is your accelerator cable and your clutch cable. If your clutch cable is too tight or it has those rings around it, make sure you get that changed, make sure you get that replaced. Make sure that your accelerator cable is cleaned. Ask your technician to clean it for you, or if you're somebody who knows how to clean their own accelerator cable, do that. If your bike is FI, a lot of troubles are already sorted. You don't have to worry about a lot of things. But if your bike is carbureted, make sure your carburetor is tuned, it's cleaned, it's got the right jet for the right height that you're going, and your air filter again should be clean, should be lubed, should be oiled. Your chain should be in healthy condition, your sprocket should be in a healthy condition. Try to get rid of extra weight on your bike. Of course, extra weight not at the cost of your riding comfort. Your riding comfort should never be hindered, because again, you need to be comfortable on the bike that you're pushing for like multiple hours of the day. Make sure you get a new pair of tires if your old tires look old and your knobs look like this. Yeah, that's pretty much all that I can think of at this point. If you get in touch with a good technician, it would be like you can leave your stresses to them and let them figure out the bike and make it the best possible machine for you. But how can you make yourself your best possible individual? It's by building on your mental fortitude. Mental fortitude is, I think, where I lack the most, because I get distracted on the bike. I start thinking about things that don't matter, because a rally can get like very, very lonely as a sport. Like, you don't have an audience looking at you. You're racing in areas where you don't see people for a very, very long time. And your mind can go here and there because you just find a flow, especially if you're somebody like me who's had a problem with focusing. It can happen on the bike as well. So make sure that you start meditating a little bit, focusing on things a little bit, trying to build that mental fortitude, have that confidence in you that yes, I'm the shit and I will ride my motorcycle to my best capacity, and I think that will help you build a strong version of yourself in your mind, and just be confident in who you are. You don't have to be a world champion to like yourself. You can be somebody who is finishing at the bottom and still be extremely happy with your performance, because some of the guys that you'll be racing with are going to be amazing riders, and some of the guys are going to be average, some of the guys are going to be just starting out. So everybody doesn't have to be a champion. Everybody just has to be a champion for themselves. That's the most important thing. So make sure that you hold yourself in high regard, that you're respectful of the time and the effort you put into your bike and yourself, and ride your best. Don't think of it ki yaar, I'm 1 minute slower than him, or I'm 5 minutes slower than him. Your only competition should be you. I'm pretty sure you've heard it a million times by now, but your only competition should be you. You should be doing better than you did in the last rally. Alright, let's talk about transporting your bike. There are a few ways that you can transport your bike. The first is by riding it. I don't recommend it because you pick up fatigue, you get tired, your bike gets fatigued as well, because it's on the highway, you can't really ride fast because you're on knobby tires. So you have to be like extremely delicate with it, and you're braking, you're clutching, and basically your bike doesn't arrive at the start of the rally with 100% health, and you want to have that health bar full, So if you have the capacity or the people or vehicle to help you transport your bike, do that. The other option is to ship your bike. Again, shipping your bike always feels like a risky thing to do because you don't know if it's going to be taken care of completely. You don't want it to reach the venue broken and then scramble to fix it. Then there are dedicated motorsport logistics providers like one of my sponsors, JunoFast. You can get in touch with them. But yeah, I think those are all the ways that you can transport your bike. Once you've transported your bike, you're there, you find yourself a nice, decent enough hotel, stay there, or a friend's place, and start doing the recce of the terrain around. I am extremely against riding on the tracks that are provided to you via GPS, because you're kind of like hacking your way. But if it's something that the organizers don't find a problem with, I don't know why I do. Like, I just think like morally or principally it's not something that I like to do or I would ever do. So just you should do a recce of the kind of terrain that's there. Like, if it's sandy, then try it out, see what kind of sand it is, see if you're comfortable, what you need to change or adjust on your bike, the limited options that you have. If it's rocky, what do you need to adjust, suspension settings, tire pressure, air filters, whatever it is, figure that out. So let's recap. You've got your rally license, you have filled out all the forms, you've gotten your rally insurance, you've gotten your bike transported, your health and fitness are in perfect condition, your gear is in tip-top condition, you have multiples, you have comfort wear as well, you have did I say maintain your bike? If not, then you have maintained your bike is in proper 100% health bar, your mental fortitude is in check, and you have recce'd the place that you want to be racing in. Now the only thing that's left to do is to run the last mile and finish the rally. And for that, just believe in yourself, just believe in the effort you've put in it over a few months, and ride, because don't forget why you're doing this. You're doing a rally or these motorsport events because you have a genuine love for adrenaline, speed, and the most important thing, a tough, hard challenge. So recognize that, believe in yourself, recognize your efforts, and just don't think too much, race, and be happy with what you put out, because your body can only do what it can do. Like, you can't expect your body and your mind to do something that they've never done before. So give your body and mind time, be forgiving of yourself, and best of luck. So this video was essentially talking about the things that happened before the rally. I'll also be talking about during and after. If you like this, then press the like button. Man, I don't know how to do this intro stuff. Press the like button, subscribe, share this with your friends, all of that. If you're somebody who's confused about anything, please hit me up on Instagram. I'll try my best to help you over text, or we can get on a call. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was informational. Thanks again to Fynx Moto for sponsoring their video. Do check them out, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.